Right guys, basically I'm just here to tell you my top 10 tips for catching more carp, winter, summer, all of that. So these are my top 10 tips. My top 10 tips for catching more carp. Intro. Nah, all of that bullshit, don't worry about that. Right, basically it's all about a location, yeah? So the first thing I do when I get to a lake, if I'm trying to catch fish, as I say all the time on my recent vlogs, is I'm coming for a lot of socials. I'm coming with people that don't really go fishing a lot, trying to get them into the Christmas spirit, into the fishing spirit. Christmas, ding ding. Yeah, basically, I'm trying to get people into the fishing spirit. Reason why, in my opinion anyway, that none of these youngers are trying to do it is because they don't have anyone telling them to. Everyone keeps it secret, it's all just bullshit anyway. So listen, my first thing, like I said before, is location. Whenever I get to the lake and I'm trying to catch some fish, if I'm going Thorny Weir, which you'll be seeing soon, when I go Thorny Weir, I'll be looking to catch some fish. So my first thing I'm going to do is location. I've got to set up on fish. If I don't set up on fish, I'm going to set up in places where I know that the fish are going to be going to, right? They have a mouthful there. But you've got to spend that extra 30 minutes. Go around, look for some signs of fish. It could be bubbles, it could be movement, it could be them held up, it could be anything. But look for something. Find your spot and know where you're fishing. Before you go there, don't just go sticking your bivvy in any swim just because you're close to your mate. That doesn't work, right? You're going to catch, and especially when you're paying on day ticket waters, £20, £25, £30, £40 for a day session on a ticket. Location is key, yeah, because you're wasting hours by sitting there and fishing on nothing. So that's my first tip. Number 2 is presentation, right? I have a little fish tank, about the same size as my iPad, little fish tank, sits inside my shed, and before I go out, or when I ever think of something like that, I always try and make sure that the bait, I'll cut it down, I'll trim down my pop-ups at home, call it geeky, call it what you want, but I do everything at home just to make sure that when I get to the water, I've got less time to waste on trying to set something up and trying to test something, and more time to actually fish, you know? So that's it, presentation, yeah, because you got to obviously understand if you don't trim down your pop-up, I don't use weight, I don't use putty or anything, so if I trim down the pop-up, it perfectly balances my bait. I don't use tungsten, I use tungsten braid, yeah? I don't use anything else other than that. So, my thought train's running, where am I at? Yeah, you could be fishing your bait up, it could be like a 6-inch pop-up, or it could be a bottom bait rig. So, boom. Number 3 is your confidence, and this is a very big one, right? Confidence. The last thing that you want to be doing when you get to a lake is doubting that you're fishing properly. If you put your rods out and you're sitting there thinking, oh, am I on silt? Oh, am I in a snag? Is there a tree there? Is there this? Is there that? You should have leaded before, or you should have checked your spots before, and then know that they're fishing. Be confident, leave your rods out, and be patient. As long as you're patient, it should go alright. There shouldn't be no problems. You know what I mean? As long as you've got your bait out there, your presentation's right, your location's right, everything else should be alright. You know what I mean? So, right, as what I mentioned in the last one, number 4, know what you're fishing on. Are you going to be fishing on silt? You're going to be fishing on weed? You're going to be fishing in gravel? Is it 3 inches silt? Is it 4 inches silt? Is it 8 inches silt? You need to know these things. If you can't work it out, you're going to be hitting and hoping a lot of the time. So, learning a lot, go into a lake that has these different bottoms on, even just with a rod and a lead, is worth it, because then at the end of the day you're going to learn these things. These things are things you need to learn. You need to learn when you're dropping, whether you've got a drop, whatever. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I say to my mates, make sure you've got a drop. You've got a drop. I like to cast out. It's one of the things that I do. So I'll cast out, maybe go 13 wraps on the first time when I go to lake. If I don't feel a drop on that 13 wraps, what I will do is reel my rod down, pull it up, and then let it drop back down again. So what I'm doing is, this is the water, I'm pulling my lead and dropping, pulling my lead, dropping, pulling my lead, dropping. So I'm checking everything all the way back to me by foot, or it could be by meter, by meter, by meter. But the minute that I feel a more solid drop, I'd clip that, cast it out, and feel that. If I'm feeling a solid drop, I know that I'm fishing. Do you know what I mean? There's no point in wasting your time. This is a big thing. You can't be wasting time, especially when it costs money. Right. Number 5 is prepare your baits. Right. I glug the beep out of my baits. Yeah. I have a vacuum machine which I put my baits into and I vacuum them up. So I already cause probably a year of fermentation, not fermentation, like a year of them sitting in this glug. I do that before they've even touched the water. When I've got them out of the shop, I go and take them in, glug them up, might get 2 pots, have my winters, have my summers, do what I need to do. But preparation of your baits is key. Your hook baits need to be attractive. They need to stand out, not core de goo up everything. And you go buy a boilie that's a very good boilie and then core de goo it up. You just turn it into a core de goo boilie. Yeah, you can make your own glugs, you can do all stuff like that. Core de goo is key. I'm not telling you not to use it. Core de goo is a very good thing, but you need to be able to use other stuff. Right? Number 6. It's the same as above, but this is your feed. Right? I like to feed my bait. I like to have it so it's fermented. I like to have it so it's stinky. I like to have it so it's like wet, and I don't put it out dry. I don't do none of that stuff. I prepare it all. I prepare it all maybe before I come, so it's all dried up and everything, and then I'll put some lake water in there, give it a mix around, leave it for half an hour, and then it's prime. And in that half an hour is my time of sorting out my rods, sorting out everything. Do you know what I mean? So yeah. Now number 7, right? This is use sharp hooks. When I first started fishing, I was using the same hook over and over again. I was catching fish, but it was blunting up. I know this because I was losing fish, right? Now since I've started using sharper hooks, they actually play more of a difference. You know, play more of a difference. They actually play the part. They do what they're meant to be doing. You don't want that fish to be putting it, taking it up into his mouth, spitting it out, and it not getting hooked. You need it to get hooked. You need it to do its job. If you've got a blunt hook on, you've gone out there and waited 10 hours for a bite for nothing. For you to get picked up and shook off because you haven't got a sharp enough hook on. So obviously, sharp hooks. Right. Number 8. Speak to the locals. Local people are key, right? A lot of people are obviously going to keep secrets to themselves because this is how it is. Like I said, I don't want this. I want everyone, which I'll never achieve. I want everyone to be a community. We need to be fishing together again. We need to have a community. We need to have a big... Every industry has a community. Now I'm not talking about the Danny Farbrasses and the Ali Hamidis, the top people. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the people don't have a community. When I was in the music business, they have a community. There's places where they used to go and do their stuff. No matter what, the bike life when I was in that, they have a community. Everyone has a community. We all share a passion. So why should we not? You know what I mean? Why should we not get together? Just everyone stop being uptight. You're not Danny Farbras. You're not going to make millions of pounds. Let's be for real. Right. Fresh bait after every fish. Right. I wasn't doing this before. I used to just pop out, if the boilie was on the rig, yeah, pop it back out, that'd be alright. But once I started changing that bait all the time, trimming it up, changing it, I was getting more instant hits, quicker. So I'd wait 4 hours for a bite without it, but with it, by putting a fresh one on, half hour I'd get another bite. It's like they know that a carp's had that in its mouth. So, to me, like I said, fresh bait after every fish, yeah? And last but not least, don't be lazy, yeah? It's not don't be late. Be up and early, yeah? If you're going to a lake and you're doing a week session, hope you can hear me. Hold up, wait for the wind. If you go onto a lake and you're doing a week session, if you're going there and you're going to sit in your bivvy with your door zipped up all the time, you're not going to do anything. You're not going to catch anything, right? So what you need to be doing is you need to be up early. The minute that lights up, even before that, sit there, listen for the water, watch the water. If you see some showers over there and your rods are over there, what are you doing? Put your rods over there. You know what I mean? This is the whole, the activity of the fish is primed around 6 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock. It gets perfect, mate. The weather is that's when they're turning on. That is when the majority of the fish are out feeding. And if they're feeding, they're jumping, they're showing, they're giving themselves away. So why would you sit there and hide away? You know what I mean? If you've got windy water, go and have a look around. Go and look for some stuff. You know what I mean? Don't hurt getting up in a tree, having a little look around and seeing what you can see. I've got a lake on the syndicate, I spend hours on the tree. You know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, my pal's over here, he's just decided to come and point his fingers at me. But yeah, that's it, it's literally over and done with. So like I said, make sure everything's right. You know what I mean? If you go off of it, you can't go wrong. You've got to be up early and watching the water. Like I said before, don't pay £30, waste your money for a ticket, and then sit in your bivvy all day and go sleep. Yeah, go on. Coke please, mate. So yeah, basically, my mate's popping to the shop. But yeah, it's one of them ones, so just make sure you stick by it. It's them 10 simple rules that I go by that catch me fish. If you watch it and you know that I catch fish, I'm not the best angler in the world, but I know that I stick by these 10 things, the 10 rules. They're not even tips, they're my 10 rules to go in fishing. If one of them can't work because something's happening in between, as in, see, if I couldn't get glug from the baits, then blah, 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 that means that the whole 10 pieces are not together, so I can't do it. That's just me being me. I couldn't do it. I come to the lake sometimes, I have them off days, I have them off feelings, I can't do it. So, you know what I mean? But I hope I've got enough space. I hope this has recorded it all, because I don't know how long it's going to record on this camera. But you comment, like, subscribe, give me something. Alright guys, sorry about that. Basically my memory card got filled up. But yeah, make sure you leave your comments, subscribe, all of that stuff. Hit the notification bell so you get a notification when the videos come out. Once my phone and that's all sorted, I'll start streaming. You'll catch me streaming on Instagram. I haven't tried YouTube streams yet, so might give it a try, but I stream on Instagram normally. My phone ended up in a lake, as you see from the last video, and it's still not fixed, to be honest with you. And this is like a week and a half later. I haven't tried it in the last probably 3 to 4 days, so just leave it in the bucket with the rice on top of the radiator, and if it dries, it dries. If it don't, I'll have to sort something else out. I've got my Howie pad until then. Just keeps me off of the social network, even though I need to be networking. It gives me a little break at the moment. So yeah, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all of the goodness, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you along my travels. Come and join me upon my journeys. It's a bit early, man. It's 9:05 and I'm half asleep. Just keep thinking about half. So yeah, been a muddy one, pouring down with rain last night. But I'll let you get on. Take care, people. Tight lines.